I've always thought that the best way for law students to learn about the practice of law is through actual practice in a setting that motivates them to do their best work.
I think we have a broader range of clinical experiences available to our students than any other law school in the country.
It's giving students an opportunity to learn and at the same time giving back to the community and assisting others who need it.
The Bluhm Legal Clinic may be the most important law firm in the city of Chicago.
Well, at any one time we have 160 students working in the Bluhm Legal Clinic on actual cases. We have 30 to 60 students involved in externships, and we may have 90 to 150 in the simulation-based courses. And that is high compared to other law schools.
So at Northwestern, you can take a class in the morning with one of the great thinkers about the law, and then you can come into a simulation program in the afternoon and work with one of the most successful trial lawyers in the United States. And I think that is a breadth of opportunity that is hard to duplicate in any other comparable institution.
Everybody should have some type of real-world experience, whether it's through, clinic work with a faculty member, or whether it's through something like a practicum or an externship. I think you can't teach professional skills.
I fell in love with Northwestern from the beginning. I loved that it was a law school that focused on practical applications. I was the child in math class who asked, excuse me, when am I ever going to use this?
What we want to provide for our students is the opportunity to observe their capacity as lawyers to shape and change the world through litigation.
One of the things that I think is unique about our clinic is the opportunity to be exposed and participate in a broad range of legal advocacy.
What distinguishes us, I think, is the fact that we're involved in both individual representation and within the areas in which we concentrate, we're having a real impact on the way that law is practiced, on the way that courts approach certain issues, on the way that institutions deal with the problems that they're facing on a day-to-day basis.
The work that the Bluhm Legal Clinic does is so important because it would not be done if the people there weren't fighting for these clients. And what I was so impressed by coming in as a student is the level of commitment that the professors have for the clients.
I came to Northwestern Law School to be a public interest lawyer, to do this kind of work. I don't know why it's in my blood, but it is, and I'm completely passionate about it.
Students love our program for a number of different reasons. First of all, in our program, you're going to not only learn, you're going to do. And that is very, very interesting for students.
What surprised me most about the clinic experience is the amount of responsibility that you're actually given at a very early point.
If you're going to engage students in real cases and in projects that relate in real time to the challenges of tribunals and international human rights organizations, it's extremely helpful to have someone at your side who has had a lot of experience in doing that.
When I entered, I really wanted to get practical experience. Getting to go to court and honing my writing, that would be the benefit of clinic. What I didn't expect were the relationships that I would build, not just with my professors and my fellow students, but also with my clients.
I think that was one of the most surprising things about the Supreme Court Clinic, is that we are doing real work on real Supreme Court cases as a third-year law student.
The work environment in the clinics is highly collaborative, fairly autonomous. I view myself not so much as the senior partner telling them what to do, but more actually as a safety net.
Clinical experience here gives you an opportunity to actually see yourself in the real world, to think about the kinds of things that you might like to do as a practicing attorney, and to know that coming out of Northwestern you have the skill set to be successful at whatever that is.
I like to tell my students, look, the way that we handle these claims, the way that we investigate them, the way that you're going to mediate them and try them is exactly the same as you'll face in the real world, except out there are a few more zeros.
That face-to-face contact with the client, being able to get that while in law school is certainly going to help me, so that when I'm at my firm and the partner says, hey, you're meeting with the client today and you're on your own, maybe I won't be as nervous as I otherwise would have been.
The students who we've hired, at least in the past, who have been involved in the clinics, they know how to deal with clients. They know that that's a fundamentally important part of the practice of law, and it's not just that they can read and write and understand the law, but that they are really problem solvers, and that's something you get at the clinic much more than anywhere else in the law school.
I remember once being at the juvenile detention center, and a mother came up to me and she said, do you work at Northwestern? And I said, I do. And she's like, please help me. And what that says to me is that we're really giving something to the community that is grossly needed and abundantly appreciated.
We want our students to see that it's possible to be a lawyer and do things in which your values and your work intersect.
I do hope that they find that the practice of law is really endlessly fascinating, enjoyable, and rewarding. And I think that a lot of students haven't quite figured that out when they get to the clinic. But when they get to the clinic, they see that it really is a very high calling.
I say this a lot, and people think I exaggerate, but the clinic is definitely the best thing that I've done in law school, by far and away, over the last 3 years.
The Bluhm Legal Clinic is a very, very special place. I got my training here as a lawyer. I've been able to work here to help train others, and I've seen the impact that they've had on the lives of their individual clients and on law reform in Chicago and on the students who are fortunate enough to pass through this clinic.
The clinic has really impacted my life, my professional life and just my personal life, and just what it's offered me is really irreplaceable. It's been a fantastic experience and I wouldn't give it up for the world.